The FBI and the CIA have been engaged in a power struggle since the days of J. Edgar Hoover. Mm-hmm. Their whole books have been written about it.
Yep.
So if the FBI wants somebody, they don't always get them. Because CIA, although it's not supposed to be operating domestically, does plenty of domestic operations. Right. And so does NSA. And so, FBI has severe limitations on what it can manage. They wanted the UFO file, too, and they couldn't get it. There's evidence of that, of Hoover trying to get a hold of the UFO files. So the FBI UFO files are about how the FBI can't get a hold of the UFO files. Okay? Anyway, so evolutionary dynamics, Harvard. Alan Dershowitz, Trump's lawyer, was also very close to Epstein. And he says that the stuff Epstein used to say about genetics freaked him out because it sounded like Nazi eugenics talk. All right, so one Jew saying about the other Jew, like this shit he used to talk about genetics sounded like the Nazis to me. I don't know what he was up to, but it didn't sound good. And it was about eugenics, creating using genetic engineering. And by the way, Jeffrey Epstein funded the research that led to CRISPR.
Dulce, New Mexico is 170 kilometers from the Four Corners, an area known for the skinwalkers, who the Hopi tribe describe as a non-human species that live underground. Dulce is 260 kilometers from Scientology's heavily guarded underground Trementina base. And Dulce is 200 kilometers from Jeffrey Epstein's Zoro Ranch, which is known to have an 8,000 square foot underground level and is rumored to lead even deeper underground. According to several prominent scientists who Jeffrey Epstein had as guests, Epstein hoped to seed the human race after a cataclysm by impregnating 20 women at a time at the Zoro Ranch. According to Bajorkness, the Kabbalistic teachings include a geocentric model of the Earth with an underworld that extends 7 levels beneath the surface, where a reptilian species lives. These legends foretell a cleansing of the Earth when everyone on the surface will perish, and only those in the underworld will survive. High-level Freemasons allegedly believe in a hollow Earth, where a non-human species rule from an underworld called Agartha, and their most guarded secrets seem to revolve around a cyclical cataclysmic event. Phil Schneider also built submarine bases and said that most were connected to the vast network of deep underground bases. Ghislaine Maxwell had a submarine license and was known to transport people to Epstein Island through an underwater submarine port. The U.S. military built a submarine base on St. Thomas Island, which is just 13 kilometers from Epstein Island. And right next to this submarine base is Water Island, owned by Joe Biden's brother and their business associate. In a recent interview on Iconic, Juliette Bryant, who was kidnapped by Jeffrey Epstein for 2 years, but she did wake up once paralyzed on a lab table and witnessed Epstein shapeshift into something else.
And I still want to know why exactly I was taken there, because there's a lot more weird stuff going on, there's something else that they were doing. I just woke up in a laboratory, and I was naked and paralyzed on a table. And there were 6 people in hazmat suits around me, and then there was a female doctor standing behind my head. And I couldn't move and I couldn't talk, but my eyes could move. And sorry, it's actually really hard to even talking about that because, I had such bad panic.
It's okay.
And sorry, I got taken to New Mexico, to New York, to Paris, to Palm Beach, to the island. I got taken to all the properties. The problem is that they release information, it's going to break people's minds. It'll bend their brains. A lot of people won't be able to handle it. So I suppose that's why they don't know what to do. Because if they release the truth, all hell will break loose.
Our CRISPR, state-of-the-art genetic engineering, that research was funded by him too. Okay? So he wanted to basically implant these CRISPRed fetuses into these women on Zoro Ranch and breed a kind of super race. And interestingly enough, all the women who were being used for that, and the majority of the models that were being funneled through his modeling agency and brought onto the island and so forth, were of Nordic phenotype. And that fact is particularly interesting if you line it up next to what Ghislaine Maxwell's aides say. I have this referenced in my Substack article on Ghislaine Maxwell. she would have these live-in male aides. And one of them talked extensively. And he said that he's from Sweden. I don't remember exactly. He has a very Swedish name. And he said that she would bring young, good-looking, smart men from Sweden every 3 months on tourist visas. She would rotate them. Only from Sweden. Blonde, good-looking, intelligent aides. And he said, the creepy thing was when I was living there and doing all this stuff for her, I would notice that, if my hair was on my pillow or, there was hair my hair was in the bathroom or something, it would be gone. Next thing I noticed, it would be gone. And I wasn't the one who cleaned it up. Now, you've seen Gattaca?
I don't think so.
Okay. This is a sci-fi film from the late 1990s. From a single strand of hair, you can clone somebody. And what this Swede was saying was that his hair was being collected from his room by somebody. His DNA was being collected. So it wasn't just the women. She was rotating the Swedish men every 3 months to be her male aides at her house and do all kinds of stuff for her personal assistant. And by the way, the other interesting thing that he said was she kept a grenade on her desk at all times. Like ready to grab it and pull the pin. And it was because she believed that at any moment, they were going to come for her. And she'd be damned if she doesn't take them out with her. Okay?
Wow.
So, and you got to remember, this woman was a submarine pilot. Mm-hmm. She was a trained helicopter pilot. When Epstein was going all around the Bahamas, searching for Atlantis, I'll come to that next, she was the one piloting the helicopter herself. Okay? So, this is like a 007 kind of woman. Trained helicopter pilot, trained submarine pilot, expert diver from the days when her father was buddy with Jacques Cousteau. She learned to be a diver, deep sea diver. Mm-hmm. And her life's ambition from a young age was to become a marine biologist. Her father forced her to go into business. She wanted to be a marine biologist. So anyway, we're dealing with some such person, and she keeps a grenade on her desk at all times, right? Ready to use it when they come for her. Who's the they who's going to come for her? Well, we'll get to that.
The Olympians.
Where are the 500,000 to 1 million unaccompanied alien children? Where in the hell are these kids? In one place, I have been told that we need to start looking, and it made perfect sense and I didn't even think of it. A lot of people are saying, you need to start looking underground. I'm like, what do you mean underground? Well, JJ, there's whole tunnels. Underground tunnels. There's underground spaces, living places. Where do you hide children? You have to hide them out of sight.